Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, or Irish family. So today I want to go through, I just want to do a little bit of update on Ava's speech. So Ava is our 3-year-old, she turns 4 in March, and we noticed a long time ago, before she turned 2, that she had a bit of a delay on her speech. We were trying to get into the system here. So HSE is our health system here, that's what it's called, and we've been trying to get her to see a speech therapist or speech and language therapist through the HSE for a while. There was a whole big hoopla with like forms being lost, and we went to see a doctor and then he didn't recommend it even though he said he was going to recommend it, and then there was waiting lists and all that sort of stuff. But eventually we got her in and we got her to see a speech therapist. She went when she was, I want to say like March of last year, or was it of this year? March of this year she went for the first time, and she just kind of had a chat with me, just observed Ava a little bit, and she just kind of said that she's a bit too young still to do a speech assessment. But we went back in June or July, I can't remember, and she did a speech assessment. I had to leave the room for about 20 minutes. They did a speech assessment on her, and then she said that they're going to be starting to run classes come the autumn time, and that she would have Ava in one of those classes because both her speech and her language were a little bit behind from where they recommend that she should be. So since then it was the summertime, and during the summer, especially when we went on holidays and when myself and Robert were off at the same time, so Robert was off at the same time as me, or I'm always off because I don't have a job, but Robert was off and we were all at home together. Those were the times that her speech came on really well, her language came on really well. So it's just now down to like a language delay, or maybe, I don't know. Basically, long story short, I'll just get into what I'm trying to say. Long story short, in 6 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, we started to do a group session. Now, there was actually only Ava and another little girl in the session, and it's with 2 speech therapists that are in our local center, health center, and they go in for half an hour on a Tuesday, and today was the last one, and they said that they'll contact me in a couple of they'll review her file and they'll contact me to let me know what we're going to do going forward. Basically, they'd go in there for half an hour, myself and the other mum would sit outside and wait for them to be done, and then we'd go in and we'd get homework that we have to do with them. So I wanted just to share some of the stuff. So I have lots of handouts in here. So these were the kind of core stuff that they were working on, and I have mentioned some of these before because I got some of these handouts before. So the first thing is modeling. So modeling is when you say it the right way for your child. So the child says, I felled, and you say, oh, you poor thing, you fell. The child says, we runned away. Wow, you ran away. So yes, I bumped my head, my was crying. So you ran around and you fell and bumped your head, you poor thing. So you just listen to what your child is saying and then give them the correct way to say it is basically what you have to do. So don't correct your child by saying no, you don't say felled, say fell, Sean fell. So you don't do that. And you don't ask your child to say it again. He will usually just say felled again. So like that, I felled, and you say, oh, you fell. So it's just giving them the correct way of doing it. So that's called modeling. That's that one. And then expanding. So expanding is your children enjoy when you intimidate them. It confirms that you're really listening to them. When you intimidate a child, you repeat what she has said, but you say it the correct way, like the modeling. So your child says hands, and you say wash hands. So the child says wash hands, you said I'm washing my hands. And then wash hands soap, yes, I'm washing my hands with soap. So you give them the sentence, and you're also including more words in it. So use the child's word and add 1 or 2 more words to your own. Make a phrase or sentence from this and then use the child's word and add some new ideas. So that's called expanding. They also did something called balancing questions and comments. So there's a hand rule. For every question you ask, make a comment, repeat, expand, explain. So that's what you have to do. So it says, so it shows here like the little kind of cartoon. It says, do you like gardening, is what the parent says. And then the child either doesn't answer or answers with the completely wrong thing. So you just continue on as if they answered correctly. So the initial question was, do you like gardening? And then you say, you're doing a great job. I love gardening. I am watering the plant because it needs water to grow. I love gardening because it's fun. So you kind of just, that's what you're doing. You're kind of making the comment, you're repeating the word gardening, you're expanding on it, and then you explain why you've made the statement, the question. So I thought that one was really good, because that is generally, for me as a parent, I'd probably just kind of keep asking. I'd be like, do you like gardening? And then if she doesn't answer, like, Ava, do you like gardening? Even though she might not know what gardening is. She knows what a garden is, obviously, but she might not know what gardening is, the action, the verb of it. So I thought this one was a good way. So for every question you ask, you make a comment, you repeat it, expand, and you explain it. So I thought that was pretty good. So that's something that we've been working on. Then another one is learning new words. So ways in which you can encourage your child to learn new words. Now most of these are stuff that we already know. So it's like reading to your child. So books are a great way to learn new words. Talk about the pictures in the book, point to them and say the word. You don't have to just read the story. Next thing is when you're out shopping, talk about the items you're putting in your trolley. You continue this when your child is helping you put the shopping away at home. Next one, help your child learn new words through experience. Say the words for her, repeat them often. Tell her a story about what you did together. So, you know, if you're walking along the road and be like, oh, Ava and Mommy are walking down the road. Oh, look at the sky. There's clouds in the sky. So you tell her a story about what you're actually doing as you're doing it. And then when your children knows the names of objects, talk about the parts of things. The horse has a mane and hoofs and a saddle on its back. So obviously it would know horse, but it might not know that this is the mane. These are called hoofs, and the saddle is on his back. So you're just giving them constantly more words, more information. So that one is especially good, because I find that with Ava, like they'll be like that. There's the snowman, let's say. So they'll be like, the snowman has a scarf, it has buttons down its belly, it has a carrot for his nose. Now obviously it knows scarf, buttons, carrots. But especially this just example with the horse, with the mane and the hoofs and the saddle, that's a very good one, because chances are she might not know what those things are, because that's not something that comes up every single day in our lives. So another area is categorizing, and this is something that Ava does struggle on a little bit. So obviously it's like big spoons, small spoons, like big box, small box. So they're okay, she knows what's big and small, but where we run into problems is sorting them into groups. So if I had a whole load of like animals that belong to a farm, and then just kind of like some clothing items and then some food items, and I'd say like I'd have the little you kind of have like little pictures where you'd be like a picture of a farm or a zoo, pictures of some clothes and pictures of food. Like sometimes she still gets mixed up and doesn't categorize them properly, but categorizing is pretty important. So when you learn new words, we link them with the words we already know. Sorting words into different groups is a useful way to learn and remember new words. So when we sort items into groups, they belong to food, animals, clothes. When we sort items by how they look, it's big spoon and small spoon. So practice sorting at home when they are sorting clean clothes. Can you find all the socks? So for instance, yesterday myself and Ava did that. We try to sort the clothes by finding all the socks. Then we also sorted them by put all the dark clothes here and all the colored clothes over here, because obviously I was sorting it out the laundry. So putting away dishes and emptying the dishwasher, let's take out the cups first. So you're categorizing them by cups, plates, cutlery. So putting away the shopping, let's find all of the drinks, or let's find all of the fruit and vegetables. And tidying up your toys is a great one, because you're like, put all of the cars in the box, put all of the animals in the drawer, that sort of thing. So categorizing. And then how we can encourage pretend play. So Ava is really coming to her own with pretend play. It's all she wants to do now is just pretend play. So make time for make-believe. Make sure your child has plenty of time to play. Creativity takes time to develop, and children can have difficulties entertaining themselves if they are not given time to use their imaginations. Show that play is valuable by playing with your children. Children realize that play is important if adults pay attention to them when they are playing and even engage with them in play. Appreciate and talk to your child about their play. We often say, you are doing a great job working, but we may never say you are doing a great job playing. Create an environment for play. It is important for adults to provide materials that children can explore and adapt in play. It is also great if adults can provide a special play place or a designated area for the pretend play and all the inspiring props. Children get ideas from their play from books, movies, trips, and everyday life. So if your child is interested in a particular topic such as animals, then take them to the zoo, read them a book about farm animals, or watch a movie about animals. So they're the kind of areas that they were covering in the 5-6 weeks that we have been going. As I said, Ava has been attending, and I just kind of made some notes of stuff since my last video about her, stuff I've seen improved. So in general, her speech is just really good now. There is less times that now I can't even speak. There's not as many times as we can't understand her. So why I can't speak of the word look like. Oh my god, there I'm doing a video about my child's speech and I can't even talk myself. So she's getting a whole lot less frustrated than she was. So she used to get really frustrated with us if we didn't understand what she was saying, obviously. So she would have said something and we'd ask her to repeat herself 2 or 3 times, and she'd get really mad and frustrated at us, and then usually it would end up she'd come into me, and you know, I would have to try and interpret what she's saying for Robert or whoever it is. And then she'd get, you know, angry and upset and cry about it. And I have noticed that those times have lessened significantly. She is really starting to clearly pronounce words, or she has adapted to saying it a different way, which is what is great from these from the lessons that she's been taking in this speech. Because what we now do is we clap out syllables. So if she's trying to say a word and we have no idea what it is, and she'd just say it's ambulance, so she'd be like ambulance, or she'd, instead of clapping, she'd break it down. So she'd break down the syllables, so ambulance. And that's something that they recommended that we do. So like banana, so she'd say nana, so banana. She'd either drop the first or drop the last. So that's kind of what she would do. So yeah, what other words? Like there's lots of different words where we'd say, but we now clap out the syllables. So that's what we do, and we'd kind of repeat it a couple of times. They'd be like banana, 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 and then you know, so then she'd just say it without the claps. So that's something that we have been doing, and it's been working great for us. She breaks up her words and she does it herself without us prompting her to do it as well. And finally, the thing that I have noticed about her is that she's so much more confident now. As you know, she's been in school since she was 2.5. She's 3.5 now. and when we first went there, you know, she couldn't speak at all. All the other kids in her class could definitely speak, and they were speaking full sentences. She did make friends towards the end of the year, but she was kind of holding back. She liked it to play on her own, that sort of stuff. And then near the end of the year, when she started to get more words, is when she kind of started to open up, and she started to play alongside a couple of little girls in her school. Fast forward to this year, and obviously it helped that we had been to school last year, but she walked into school on her first day like she owned the place. You know, she walked in and she was ready to greet everybody that was there, and even now, and especially in the last couple of weeks, because her words are much more clearer, you can definitely understand them a lot more. She is super confident, and on Halloween there when we brought her out, so she was sick. I mentioned that in my video, she had been sick, but we brought her to a couple of houses down near my parents and Robert's parents, down in the estate, and two of them asked her to sing a song. So this used to be a thing when I was little, like some people would make you sing for your treats. So the lady asked her at the door to sing a song, and Ava just turned around to walk away, which was hilarious. But I said, come on, sing a song, like, and she stood there and she sang Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And then the next man in the next house asked her to sing a song as well, and she instantly just broke into Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And you know, it's just things like that. Before, she would have just been cowering at my side and, you know, acting all shy and stuff, but she did really, really good. And then another thing I also see her doing is, if we're out and about, especially if we're at one of the soft play places, or just out and about somewhere where there's other kids, she will approach other kids and ask to play with them, or get them to play with her, where that was never something that she could do because she didn't have the words to do it. You know, she'd kind of go and, like, if they were running around, she'd run around with them, and in the hopes that, you know, they would include her in her play. Or like myself and Robert would have to set in and kind of be like, oh look, this is Ava, like, you know, are you gonna play with her, kind of set it up. But now she approaches kids herself. She'd be like, hello, let's play. And you know, she can say obviously she can say her name, and she asks them their name. So I'm really, really happy with where she's at, and she has improved so much. And people have been commenting, especially during Vlogtober, that they can understand her a whole lot more, which is great, you know, because it just shows that the work that that we're putting into her, the work that she's putting into herself, and then obviously the speech classes that we have been doing for the past 5 weeks, are working, you know. So I'm not quite sure where we stand with regards more of the speech classes. I'm hoping that she's not knocked off the list, and that's the end of it for us unless we pay privately. I'm hoping that we can get another class maybe in the new year, just to keep it going, you know, because she still is a way off kids her own age, but she is catching up very, very quickly. So that's today's video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have any comments, questions or queries, please do leave them down in the comment section and I will get back to you. Give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.